Hi everyone, this is Glenn Ingram with Web Search Pros. Some of you may have seen the previous video that I sent out to you talking a little bit about the anatomy of Google. I've been hearing a lot recently about ATM or agent tag media, display ads. Again, more questions about Google, running ads on Google versus doing organic or optimization. So I just wanted to make another video here real quick just to kind of go through the differences, so hopefully you're making a more informed and a better qualified buying decision. So I'm going to attach a couple of these displays here, or this information to you guys, just to kind of go through things so you kind of know what's going on when you're talking about pay-per-click. Those are when you're doing ads on Google. Cost per click, cost per action, CPM. Those are different ways that you can run ads on Google, Yahoo, or Bing. I think these are great pieces of information so you can learn a little something from. Display advertising. Again, I've heard a lot of questions in the last week about displays or, again, ATM. Here's the reality of a display advertising is the fact that it's very hard to know what's working because you don't see the ads running out there. And a lot of times as a business owner, we're kind of skeptical if we can't see or basically touch or feel something. So in the dozen years I've been doing online marketing, display has been the hardest ones for clients to find a return on investment or to know what's working for them. And I thought this was a great piece of information where it says, according to ComScore, and ComScore monitors and traffic for all the major websites out there, about 8% of internet users account for 85% of the display ad clicks. So that means people that are doing this are out doing it a little bit more. In my experience, when you're doing a product or selling a product in a display ad, it performs much better than a service. To give you a good case study, a good friend of mine that's like a little brother is an audiologist in the Midwest and has been running newspaper ads for years because older people that are needing hearing aids typically read newspapers. It was a good form of advertising for him. Well, the usership, people buying newspapers, having subscriptions has gone down over the years. And so now a lot of the newspapers are asking them or almost forcing clients to do some of this display type advertising like tag on their own websites. So when he had to do this a year ago to keep his pricing down, we created a special website with a special tracking number. The only time anyone would find that is if they came through the display ads on the newspaper's website. Well, we were just reviewing the data on that last week because it was time for him to meet with his rep from the newspaper to go over budgets for the upcoming year. And in 15 months since we created that website and since he started doing display advertising on the newspaper's website, he had 3 potential phone calls that came from that tracking number on that website. So that's kind of the reality. A lot of times when you're doing display advertising, you have to hope that whoever is seeing that on whatever site they are actually needs your service, and they will actually make a decision and actually contact you at that point. Because if they don't, are they going to remember who you were an hour, a day, a week later? Probably not. So that's why doing display advertising, which is basically kind of like little TV commercials out there in front of people that aren't in the market for you currently, have a very poor conversion rate. So I wish display ads would work better. They're very easy to manage as an advertising company. They're very inexpensive, but unfortunately they just don't convert very well. Social media advertising. Now, I wanted to show you this one because this piece of information I thought was a little bit interesting. It's from a couple years ago when it says the average ROI for Facebook advertiser is 152%. I've spent probably $10,000 of my own money in the last couple years trying to do Facebook ads for services like yours to try and find a way to make them work so that I could help clients with them, because Facebook is a little bit sexier. People are seeming like they're interested and want to advertise on Facebook. And whether it be for my services or for my clients' services, I have yet to find a model that works well on Facebook for a service. Now, if you're selling a product, if you're selling, shoes, a car, a house, if you're selling coaching programs or things like that, I see Facebook working amazingly well. But for a service, I just haven't found a way for it to work very well for you. and to show you again that you're going to spend X, you're going to make Y. This is a good, sound business decision. Now, when we're talking about this, ads on Google that maybe you're looking at from a DAC, an online impression, anything like this, I want to make sure, again, you understand the difference between buying ads on Google and having SEO, or your agent page, naturally appearing organically on the first page of Google when someone is actually looking for car insurance, auto insurance, life insurance in your city. It's a big difference on what you see short-term and long-term from buying ads versus being at the top of Google. I thought this was, again, another good piece of information, and again, I'm going to share this with you so you guys have access to it. I didn't create this, but I think the people did a great job with it. That shows the nice thing with buying an ad is instantly, within a week or two, you're going to be seeing people clicking on your site, and you should be getting people that are contacting you. If your ad is correct, your agent page is your agent page. You're not going to change that a lot, but I do think the new enhanced one is a little bit of a newer, fresher look that maybe would convert just a little bit better. But when you look at ads, they're going to perform about the same based on the search volume. Again, only about 12% of the time is anyone ever going to click on those ads up there. 75% of the time they're going to go down the organic portion. That's why when you're looking at this slide here, the visitors and what you're going to get from optimization are going to grow over the months and over time, because when you don't have good position right now, as you get better position, you get to page 2, you start getting to page 1, you get to the top of page 1, you're going to have a lot more visitors to your site. The more visitors we have, the more phone calls we get. The more phone calls we get, the more policies you can write. It's all a numbers game. So that's the biggest difference I want to share to you between ads at the top of Google and optimization. Is when you're looking at a long-term approach, you can actually grow your business and start having more clients calling you for probably the similar budget or maybe a little bit more than when you're looking at from a pay-per-click advertising medium, especially when you don't know what the people that are managing your ads are keeping for a management fee. So I would always want to ask them, how much of my budget is going to ads, how much of it are you keeping, just so you know. We recently brought on a client, I don't want to say where, here a couple weeks ago. They were spending $835 per month with this client, with another company, another provider. We asked them for a report so we could evaluate everything. They gave them a report for 90 days. So $835 over 90 days, they spent $2,500 basically. They showed them on the report that they spent $1,200 on ads on Google. So they received $2,500, they spent $1,200, so 40% of that basically on ads. The optimization that they were showing the client they were doing for them were posts on Facebook, on Twitter, on Google+. That's kind of like social media marketing. It really does, it gives you some social signals, but it really doesn't help get your agent page to the top of Google. And the agent's page wasn't there, so now we're working with them, and instead of spending $835 on that ad campaign component, they're probably going to spend about $200 or $300 on AdWords once everything is working and tweaked to the best of its ability. So try and make sure you know what you're spending your money on, what they're going to do, and especially from an ad component, how much of your budget are they keeping and how much are they spending on ads. Because again, over time, your ad budget is going to be your ad budget. You may get a slight increase for a while, but as you see here, the number of people clicking on the ads has gone down over time versus going up, and the number of people clicking organically is going up versus down. So you're always going to get more business, more traffic when your site is up there at the top of Google in the organic or the natural position. This is another good thing when you're looking at performance. The ads start immediately, but again, your ads are going to maybe not convert as well once you're looking at your overall budget, because when you start getting organic listings up there higher, you're going to start getting a lot more benefit or a lot better return on your investment from SEO versus ads on Google. I hope this was helpful. Again, this is Glenn Ingram with Web Search Pros. There will be a link back below here to my site. If you'd like to set up an appointment, we'd be happy to visit with you. I'd like about 15 minutes just to kind of get to know you a little bit better and tell you a little bit more about us. And then we'll talk about business if we decide we want to work together. Again, if you just visit agent.websearchpros.com, fill out the form with a little bit of information I need, and then you'll be redirected right to my calendar to set up an appointment. Thanks a lot. I hope this was helpful. Have a great weekend and a great holiday season. Goodbye.